do like living here. I love living in Gainesville. I did my undergraduate degree here, so I've been living in Gainesville for a few years now. And I'm originally from Switzerland, Florida, so I'm really close to the beach. So I think that was the biggest change about moving to Gainesville, was not having the beach right there. But then I discovered Cedar Key, which is only a 45-minute drive, and it is beautiful, and I love it there. And I love to fish, so I go there all the time. And I think the other thing I really love about Gainesville is that they really try to bring out the culture of Gainesville. They have art festivals and food drives and things like that all the time. So I really like that Gainesville does that. Because I moved here thinking that it was going to be a college town, and it is. There's definitely college aspects of it, but if you dig deeper, there really is a lot that they do to kind of bring out the culture. So when I applied, I had every intention of doing large animal medicine because I've worked with horses my whole entire life, and that's always what I've wanted to do. And I actually have a very specific interest in reproduction, and I think a lot of people don't have that because most people take that class and think this is the most boring thing I've ever had to do. But I love it, and so when I interviewed, I told them all about how that was my passion, and I think it really made me stand out to the interviewers. When I first applied, I realized that all of my experience was in one area, and that was with horses. And so I decided to go a different route and kind of get experiences in some different areas. So I started working for a small animal hospital, an emergency clinic, and that sort of opened my eyes to, because I loved emergency and I didn't realize that I would love it, and it opened my eyes that there's other areas of veterinary medicine that I didn't realize before. And so my advice to somebody applying would be to do everything that you can. Don't just focus on what you think you're going to do, because I promise when you get into your first year, you're going to take a class and realize, oh my gosh, I love this, and I never would have thought that I loved it. And so I think it's really important to kind of do a little bit in different areas. I never thought that I would like working with small animals, but once I started working in an emergency small animal hospital, I absolutely loved it. So definitely get different experience in different areas. So when I first said that I wanted to go to vet school, everyone told me that you can't have a social life, that school completely encompasses your entire life and that's all you do, and that is not true. I want everyone to know that that is not an accurate statement. Me personally, what works best is most days, on average, we start class around 9:30, 10, and so I wake up early in the morning. I wake up at 6 a.m. and I study until we start class, and then I go to school all day, and then if we get out at 3, I have the rest of the afternoon to do whatever I want. And so I'll go ride my horse, I'll go to the gym, work out, go running. I have plenty of time to do whatever I want. And honestly, studying for those 3 hours in the morning, 3 or so hours, is plenty of study time for me. Granted, like on the weekends, I do have to study more and spend some time there, but there's plenty of time for a social life. You just have to make it happen. So when I first found out I got an interview, I instantly went into prep mode. I was like, okay, I'm gonna practice. And on one hand, I think practicing for the interview is a really good idea to kind of prepare, to get rid of your tics that you have, and the little things here and there, like, oh, I tuck my hair behind my ears all the time, or I shake. It's good to get rid of that kind of stuff, but it's also bad in the aspect that you don't want to sound rehearsed when you go into your interview, because I practiced so much that there was not a single question that they asked me that I hadn't prepared for, and I was worried that I almost sound rehearsed in my answers, and I don't think that that was good. So I think it's good to prepare, especially if you're not used to public speaking. It's definitely good to get some of those things out of the way, but don't over practice, I guess, would be my biggest advice. And I also was on the horse judging team, and so I had a lot of practice speaking one-on-one to another person, and that helped me a lot. So if you can take any kind of speech course or anything that prepares you for oral presentation, I think it's a really good idea. Something I wish I would have known before I started vet school is that this is not an impossible task. Everyone will tell you that it's very difficult, and it is, don't get me wrong, it's definitely hard and it's challenging at times, but it's not impossible. If you get in, you're here for a reason. You're here because they know you can handle the workload and they know that you can do this. And if the school has faith in you, then you should have faith in yourself. So I wish someone would have told me that before I started, because I started this thinking that there was no way that I was going to make it through the next 4 years, and now I wake up every single morning knowing that I can do this because I've already done it for a whole semester. So the hardest part of the application process for me personally was writing that personal statement, because I can't remember now how many words you get, but it's not a lot, and they basically tell you to condense everything about your entire life into 500 words or however many it was. And for me, I've done so many things in my life that I wanted to tell them about that it was so difficult to condense it all down. So it was absolutely the hardest part. And my advice would be to just focus on the biggest aspects of your life and the things that have been the most inspiring to you. The most difficult transition was realizing that when you have a test, it doesn't mean that you can study a day before or 2 days before or even a week before. You have to study every single day. From the day you start taking that course, you need to keep up with it, because once you fall behind, it's not possible to catch up anymore. In undergrad, if I was stressed about something else, I could study 2 days before and still probably make a great grade on the test. It doesn't work that way anymore. So that was the biggest transition, was learning that I actually have to put time into these courses every single day. So I did apply to other schools, and I did actually get into other schools. And I chose Florida mostly because of the equine aspect. We have Ocala 30-45 minutes away, and being someone who wants to be an equine practitioner, that was a really big deciding factor for me. The equine faculty and the clinicians here are absolutely amazing. They're incredible, and we have facilities that no one else has. I toured a lot of other schools and actually saw their facilities, and I was so happy that UF was in my backyard, because I'm from Florida, and having the best vet school in the world right in your backyard was just incredible for me. So it was no contest. I love it here, and I'm so happy with my choice. I would not change it for anything in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, go Gabe!